Right. Well, we are SOTU, and this is SOTUesday for the 24th day of May 2016. And life sure is a tumble, isn't it? There is so much chaos in your world right now, and we have been approached over the past week or so with the dynamic of alarm, is what can be the best description. So many of you are alarmed at the circumstances that are going on in your world right now. So many of you are alarmed with the things you see in the reflections of your reality. You come to us with questions about how you can begin to control your own reality and how you can begin to control the dynamic of the consensus, and ultimately it begins and ends with you and you beginning to take more and more responsibility. And so much of the alarm that so many of you are feeling is because you are feeling out of control. The dynamics of your politics in America, especially, are raising a whole dynamic of chaos, while at the same time raising a whole dynamic of hope for a number of different people. So there is almost an upwelling from the solar plexus chakra of an energy of passion, from an energy of outrage, from an energy of unfairness that has been pushing and motivating so many of you from within. And you must understand that this is a part of the dynamic that is beyond the control of so many that are seeking to control. The dynamics that are at play right now, the energy that is at play right now, is a divine movement. It is a divine movement of growth. We remind you again of the simple dynamic that everything in your world, more and more these days, on both the personal and on the consensus level, are asking you, who is it you are going to be? And you're going to have to answer that question, each and every one of you, personally, each and every one of you as a country, each and every one of you as a species, because that is what you are. You lose sight of the fact that you are one species, that the consciousness that is earthly humanity is particularly you. Nothing else. You're not going to find your answers within the dynamic of some outer God, some outer Savior that is going to come. Your answer is going to come from within you. And you accepting the responsibility of who you are as the reality creators. You either create your reality or you allow your reality. And so, dear ones, we would tell you, everything in your world is saying to you now, create, 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 and stop allowing. Now, we're not passionate about this or anything. But in order to answer the dynamics of alarm, let us look at the dynamics that are being played here. The easiest thing for so many of you to do would be to step outside of the dynamic of fear, to step outside of the dynamic of control in order to be able to have some sort of mastery within the dynamics of the chaos and the chaotic energy that is upon you and will continue to increase over the next year, at least. So understand that so much of what is going on right now, so many of you are not equipped to deal with the dynamics of fear. So we would like to give you a couple of tools. Again, we will give you the dynamic of technique. There are more in-depth meditations available and going to be made available through the Conversations with SOTU website. And so if you guys want to keep an eye on that, we will be making them available for download. But this is the dynamic of that, the basic dynamics of the fear meditation. Now, We speak in the fear and rage workshops about the dynamics of fear, and that there are a few different kinds of fear. There is the normal everyday fears and anxieties that you face, and there are those things that are called the paralyzing fears. And what we're going to deal with today with you is the normal anxieties, the normal everyday fears. And it is really a very simple technique, dear ones. If you're feeling paralyzed in the dynamics of your reality, you are generally feeling the dynamics of dread, and that you dread something that is upcoming in your reality, that you are anticipating something that's going to happen in your reality, and you are filled with the dynamic of dread. Well, the first thing you have to ask yourself is something really threatened, and so many of you get within, that energetic place because of bills or money or because of some legal schmeagle thing or something like that that goes on out there in your world. So you get yourself overwrought around these sorts of dynamics. Well, the first thing is you have to ask yourself is something really threatened? And often you're going to find that they're not. That there's nothing really threatened, that your physical reality is not really threatened. That it's really a whole dynamic of your internal emotional dynamic that is being stirred up and being raised through the, the reflections of your, physical machinations of your reality. Okay, so first thing you ask yourself is something really threatened. And if it's something that is really threatened, then you can do something about that. You can do those things necessary to alleviate those threats. But often you're going to find it's an emotional dynamic that's built on the past, that's built on old feelings, on what you feel is going to happen, and it's not really true, and you don't know whether it's really true, but the emotion for you, the feeling for you, the feeling of fear is real. And so it's a real simple exercise for you. The dread technique. Most of you drive, and so we would suggest that when you are in your car, on your way to work in the morning, on your way home in the evening, that you just be behind the wheel and you say to yourself, I wish to feel all of this dread as much as possible for the next 3 blocks. And so what we would have you do is, as you begin to move forward with the car, you begin to allow yourself to feel the dread more and more, and you amp that energy up, and you allow yourself not to run away from the fear, but to dive into the fear and feel it more and more and more, and feel the fear. And oh my God, don't get caught at that red light, because then you'll have to feel the fear more and more, and then all of a sudden you pop through the other side and there's no more fear. So the answer for simple fears, dear ones, is to not run away from it, but to dive into it, to swim through it, and to allow yourself to pop out the other side. You will be amazed at how well that works for you. Could also imagine that you're walking down a canyon or walking down a road. There's any number of techniques that you can do, but simply, very simply, amp up the fear until you don't feel it anymore. Now, we're not telling you to be unsafe, but what we are telling you is that most of your fears are not what you should really be afraid of. There is nothing really to be afraid of if you are involved in the dance of divinity, if you are involved in the dynamics of creation, if you realize that your world is being asked to be more, that you are being asked to be more. Please understand that is where you are in this dualistic timeline on the evolution of the transformation of your entire species. We love you all so very, very much. This is SOTUesday for the 24th of May, 2016. We would be happy to answer more and more of your questions this Friday in a Conversations with SOTU. You can check out Conversations with SOTU website. We'll even answer political questions. We love you all so very, very much, and so until the next time we close, sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy.